Jakub is absolutely right. Getting hacked is bad for any company, we all know that. But do you know what's even worse than getting hacked? It's getting hacked and not knowing about it. When something dangerous is happening on your network and you have no visibility, when all you see is absolute darkness. Luckily, we built Secnect, the product that turns on the lights in cybersecurity. Hi, I'm Vojta from Team 11, and let me set the stage with 3 numbers that testify our traction and also business impact. It only took us 5 weeks to develop a proof of concept that demonstrates we can save $1.8 million for our first user by eliminating the need for 16 years of manual work. 16 years. That's 16 people working full-time for a year. And these numbers didn't come from us. They came from Aleš. Aleš is our first user, and by the way, Aleš is real. In fact, Aleš is so real that he's sitting right there. Hi, Aleš, thank you for being with us. Aleš is the author of our data project assignment, and he's also security monitoring expert at Raiffeisen Bank. He's the one who makes sure that when something bad does happen, the security team knows about it and can do something about it. And for that, he uses a system called security monitoring. And actually, let me just call it Splunk, because that's the market leader. That's the one Aleš uses, and most other companies as well. Splunk reads security messages from all other systems in the bank or any company. So the systems tell Splunk someone signed in, someone put in the wrong password, something bad happened. And when that's the case, Splunk raises an alert to the security team, and the security team can do something. They can disable the application, disable the user, call the police. I'm actually not kidding. This is the most important part of cybersecurity in every company. We like to say, prevent you can, detect you must. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is Splunk isn't able to read all messages. It can read many, but not all. Some of them, they just seem like gibberish. So the system could be shouting, hey, I think I'm getting hacked. And Splunk's like, I have no idea what we're saying. So this problem means that people in companies today, without our product, need to remediate manually. On average, they spend 10 days of work manually trying to analyze and translate the messages so that Splunk can understand them. Instead, what we do is using a combination of language AI models. We linguistically analyze the messages, and we figure out that even though they look different, they're essentially saying the same thing. So we place our product in front of Splunk, it reads the messages from the source systems and translates them to Splunk so that it understands. As a result, we're down to 10 minutes of work instead of 10 days, and the cost of $10 of work instead of $4,500. That's the cost of a meal instead of the cost of a cheaper car. Now, that was one system, but these companies, they have hundreds. And if we multiply we get to the business impact from the opening of my presentation. 16 years of work, $1.8 million, and that's just one company. Now, what we realized is, okay, we built this originally for Aleš, but this is a market gap, because when Aleš came to Mirek and asked him nicely if one of his teams could build a solution for this for him, it wasn't because he wanted to keep us busy. It was because the solution didn't exist on the market. So combining this market gap with our ability to scale gives us an opportunity that if we price our product right, and our decision is, let's make it attractive for every company that needs to onboard 8 systems a year, and at the same time, it doesn't make them realize that it's just too expensive and they're gonna build it themselves. And if we multiply that by 15,000 customers of Splunk, we have a $500 million market opportunity. Now, in the context of cybersecurity, this is actually a low number. Cybersecurity is 1,000 times bigger as a market, but this is a very nice entry point. Now, we are the most lightweight team, which might sound counterintuitive coming from me, but what I mean is there's only 3 of us. The lady riding the white horse, that's Ivcha, and she's the team lead, which makes so much sense, right? She's leading the team to battle on the back of a horse. How epic is that for leadership, right? Between Ivcha and me, we have Tomáš. Tomáš, just like Ivcha, comes from the Czech Technical University. Ivcha even from the Faculty of Nuclear Sciences and Physical Engineering. So she's used to cracking the hardest problems in the world. And Tomáš is the AI expert. So Tomáš is the one who solved this technically, and get this. He is now hired by Raiffeisen Bank to keep working on this solution there internally. Talk about validation. And well, what I bring to the table is I'm old, which brings the benefit of having 14 years of experience in cybersecurity. So I think you will agree that we were born as a team to solve this problem. A problem that was never solved before in cybersecurity, solved with AI. Now, what we want is not money. We're pre-seed, we're pre-revenue. We're happy to keep bootstrapping with our own capital. What we want is to get the word out there. So please, if you know people in cybersecurity who can benefit, let us know, let them know. Let's keep the lights on in cybersecurity. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Now, I guess you will have a kind of a specific role because you are going to be investors that are not asked for money. So I guess some kind of advisory board or something like that. So enjoy.
So thank you for the presentation. So
Thank you.
Since our special role, my question would be, in terms of your goals, why is it better for you to keep building with Raiffeisen Bank and not, for example, directly for Splunk or someone who actually, can benefit and then be your channel on its own?
That's actually an excellent question, and that's exactly what we were thinking about. So we originally built this for Raiffeisen Bank, and Tomáš will keep working on the so-called fork of this product for Raiffeisen Bank because they were the original assigner. But we do see the opportunity on the market. Actually, one of the interesting paths that we are exploring for customer acquisition is to put this on the Splunk marketplace. It's called Splunk Base, and that's where you can publish plugins. So transforming this into a Splunk plugin, not only is it gonna give us a distribution channel, but also customer acquisition channel.
Is the solution working like real time?
No, so that's a great question. Thank you. So we didn't get to go into the deployment model, but basically we're not in the pipeline between the systems and Splunk. Although one of the slides might have suggested, but we just didn't have time to explain. Actually, when you're onboarding an application to Splunk, you use our tool one time to show it the security logs from the system, and it analyzes them and tells you, okay, this is a failed login, this is a successful login, this is authorization, and so on. And we generate the security configuration that you one time again upload to Splunk, and from then on, Splunk can start receiving messages. Good question, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
But you tested, right?
Oh yes, we tested ourselves, and also Aleš tested. And we actually have other testers as well. So we also showed this to the cybersecurity manager of our university. And I have connections to whom I showed the solution as well, although it wasn't formal testing.
Okay.
What are your operation and implementation costs?
Good question. So the costs are interestingly low so far for what we achieved. So far we achieved a proof of concept, right? We basically, in 3 people, we had a couple of weeks, and we had a decision to make whether we want to go the path of full functionality and limited non-functional requirements versus the other way around. We opted for full functionality, so our tool can today generate the entire configuration for Splunk. But also, we know that if we want to make this production ready, there's more work ahead of us. So it's probably going to be another few weeks to make this operational between the 3 of us. So we haven't put that into numbers yet, but I think that's...
Give me your estimate, maybe.
All right, thank you.
Have you researched some regulations or certifications you would have to adhere to, or just like prove to appear trustworthy in this segment?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what is your plan?
Yeah, so obviously this is gonna be a critical component. Luckily, we're not, that was the previous question, right? We're not in the middle between the source systems and Splunk. So the burden of compliance isn't that high. But still, yes, if we want to be serious about making this into actual business, we need to have certifications for ISO and so on. Yeah.
And is there also like some privacy risk connected with the input? Because the input can be like some personal information. So did you analyze also this?
Yeah, excellent question. So luckily, we are cogwheel in a machine, right? So we work with the assumption, and I think it's going to be a very valid assumption, that at the point where we come into a company and insert our tool in that, it's going to be contractually handled in the company with the users who can potentially end up in the log, that they agree with standard processing. The good thing with our tool is we can forget in 24 hours that any data existed, which makes compliance with GDPR and similar regulations much easier.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.